All right, guys, February 14th, 2024. It's Valentine's Day. Bitcoin breaking out earlier. In the last 24 hours, we're up 5%. Ethereum, last 24 hours, we're up 6%. All right. Altcoins kind of just chugging along. They haven't had a true breakout yet for the majority, which we're going to go over here soon. But let's go ahead and start with the total market cap. So total market cap, that's your Bitcoin, ETH, altcoins all together. This chart broke out last week. All right, we broke out of this resistance, which we were sitting under for, think about 10 weeks now. All right, so we were stuck at this level. We tried breaking through this level multiple times, and then finally popped above. All right, we ran up into this going into the Bitcoin spot ETF, which we can see this wick right here. This was the Bitcoin spot ETF approval day. What do you know? Buy the rumor, sell the news event in the short term, pull back. All right, now we're pushing back on through and breaking out. All right, Bitcoin 52K, looking good. And then as far as total 2, total 3, we're about to go over those. And that is your total 2 is your ETH and altcoins market cap. Total 3 is your specifically just altcoins, right? And looking at the total market cap, usually in the past, we've seen total market cap begin to move first because Bitcoin is included. So that's a good sign for total 2 and 3. It's kind of talked about that yesterday, but just to check up on it, total 2 is peaking above this current resistance right now. If we look all the way back here, we had previous support. This was all the way back in 2022. All right, market broke down right here and really entered our bear market. We were stuck under this area this entire time. Then we just came back up level by level, breaking above, regaining support, breaking above, regaining support. And that's the same thing that's going on right here. So really just following this trend. All right, we had this breakdown all the way back here. All these levels just got destroyed. Let me clear this up a little bit, but all these levels that used to be support and resistance in the bear market just got raided through, fell all the way through them, retested that breakdown there, right? Then we retested that breakdown there. So these levels became resistance for the longest time, right? And we've been stuck under this top one for a while. But each time we come up into a resistance, so far we have made our way through. We'll break above like we did here, retest, and then what do you know? We go on into the next one where we had resistance right here, right? Then that resistance comes up, breaks, holds as support multiple weeks. Kept telling my exclusive group, as long as we hold this level right here, we're going to be fine. Now, I didn't know exactly how long it was going to take for us to hold this level before going on up. I did point out that we had Bitcoin halving coming up, big narrative, and we also have an Ethereum ETF coming up, another big narrative, which we could potentially see a run up into. And currently, price is pushing on up. All right, so that's the total 2 chart. That's ETH and altcoins. And then total 3, again, it's the same thing. We rated all these levels right here, broke through, retested that breakdown, all right? Now we've been stuck under these resistances, but we've been going level by level, like this one right here. You can see that resistance right there. Break above it, retest, wicked below, scared people, but ultimately made our way up to this next one, all right? Same thing happened here, but we ran up into that Bitcoin spot ETF, sold off, buy the rumor, sell the news. People get scared. Altcoins were getting hit kind of hard here. You can see that there was multiple wicks below here, but candles closed above. Now we are sitting at that resistance. So good to see. I mean, total, since this one broke out, I could assume, it's all based on probabilities, but I think that as long as Bitcoin and the rest of the market is holding, at least, doesn't mean Bitcoin has to rip higher. I think in the coming of weeks or soon, it's hard to put a time frame on it, but I think we're just going to watch these weekly closures and get a breakout above here, because that's what's been happening before. Just like I showed before, we break above, retest, right, onto the next, break above, retest, onto the next. So is this going to be that next break above, retest, onto the next? I don't know. Weekly closure will kind of decide that. But as far as right now, everything looks pretty good. Everything looks good. So it's really just an update from yesterday's video where we talked about all the total market caps. But we are just still sitting right here at resistance. Altcoins have not broken out yet, right? Had a lot of people get excited looking at, their altcoins move up, but Sol, BNB, if we look at those two, those were our examples yesterday. They haven't broke above really these highs, right? So where candle closures were, we haven't had our weekly closure yet. Let's go to the daily and check what's going on here, all right? We still haven't broke above that 2023 high right there, all right? You can see that clearly right here, 2023. Look where we're at. We are also sitting at that resistance. So, if the total 3 breaks out, I could expect that, Sol might be one of those ones that will run, because this is sitting right here at resistance, just like Solana is, right? Because total 3 represents majority of altcoins. Now, of course, there's going to be outliers like we talked about yesterday, but right now, this is pretty much what's happening. BNB trying to pop above here. Let's look at it on the daily. Now it's daily. Yeah, it's daily is kind of breaking out a bit right here, as we can see. So I think for majority of altcoins, it's just going to be waiting on this total 3 chart to break out, which we just have not done yet. And that will be really determined by Sunday's closure, which is what I'm waiting to see. So hold on tight if you're holding on the altcoins and they haven't put in new highs yet. Bitcoin has for this year. So potentially we could see the same follow up with altcoins, but this is the chart that we need to look at, specifically this level right here. All right. So that's pretty much what's going on with the altcoin market cap. Ethereum broke above this level today. Actually, it's been broken above this level, but we just retested it. Now we're pushing higher. ETH is looking really good. All right. We literally bought the bottom back here. If you were in the free Telegram group back in the summer, then we bought the bottom again in December off this retest and bought the bottom twice. So based on time frames, and when I actually started to post stuff in the Telegram, right? But I'm holding my ETH. I'm holding my altcoins. These levels held for the total market caps right here. Right here. And then as we can see, the total broke out right here. So since all those held, I was confident to hold my coins, and we're pushing higher. We're pushing higher. I don't know how high we're going to go for sure. We're just going to take it level by level. That's what we've literally been doing this entire time. And as long as they break above, hold, break above, hold, I'll continue to hold. Now, if these levels broke below, if like this support broke below back here, that would have been a different story, but that's not what's happening. And it's all kind of lining up with narratives right now with that Bitcoin halving in April, and then we have ETH, ETF on the way, potential approval in May. So good things to look forward to for sure. And then I think let's definitely look at the USDT dominance. All right, I talked about this yesterday in yesterday's video, where we had this, which was holding for last bull market. Every time we came into this level, we sprung off it, and this time right here, we went to all-time highs, right? Then kind of topped right here for Bitcoin, had that May 19th sell-off, which we can see huge wick all the way back into this level. And then we held it again, sitting down here for weeks, wicked below, wicked into this level, but ultimately held, which allowed us to continue to come back up here and put in a new high for Bitcoin, even though the USDT dominance didn't break this level, right? This was the November 2021 Bitcoin all-time high back there, right? And then we came back into this level, held for a little bit, before ultimately breaking through right here whenever the Luna UST crash happened on May 9th of 2022. All right, so I really just use this chart as a confluence, like I talked about yesterday, because, you know, before in the past, if you were looking at this and you were wanting an indicator to kind of help you see, this was the thing to look at. Now, it didn't have the previous data that it had before. And then, as this market grows, as, other stable coins maybe grow, this, I don't know, this chart might not be as influential or correct, but as of now, I just continue to use it just because it's worked in the past for me and helped me when it comes to deploying capital into the market for trades as a confluence. All right. But we held this pretty much this level right here this entire time when it came to the lows. All right. This final time right here back in October, we were sitting here, took off, leading up into the Bitcoin spot ETF, broke through this level. All right, came all the way in here. Bitcoin spot ETF gets approved. Buy the rumor, sell the news in the short term. We come back down, retest this level. What are we doing now? Pushing back up to break this level. So to me, this level is very important. I really don't see anyone in crypto look at this chart. I don't think I've seen anyone on Twitter talk about it. It's kind of just been my own little key component for me when it comes to confluences. And if we matched all these events up in Bitcoin, ETH, altcoins, kind of what the market was doing, it could really help. So that's why I use this chart, and we're trying to push through this level right now. So we're going to see what happens as we get through this level. I would love for this to break through and then regain this as support. That would be a big confidence boost for me going forward. If this level that previously held before we kept going into those all-time highs, and then before we really started that bear market heavily, going into the lows, FTX lows, all those exchanges going down, I think this just be a very important level to begin holding support on before moving up into this halving date right here. We're going to see that red vertical line. So good to see. We're going to see how the weekly closes. All right. Tend to only try to look at bigger market cap or bigger time frames when it comes to these charts, which really helps me break down the bigger picture. So yeah, I mean, everything looks pretty good right now. I have no complaints. Everything's kind of played out. Caught the ETH bottom. All right, we rode everything up into the Bitcoin spot ETF. I held most of my altcoins, Ethereum, sold some Bitcoin. Going into the Bitcoin spot ETF, kind of moved it over into ETH and some alts that I thought were going to outperform Bitcoin. But Bitcoin still pushing. All right, that's a good sign right now. There's a lot of things that come into play for this market and Bitcoin as a whole, correlating markets, the Fed, etc., that could potentially affect what we see going on in here. But as of right now, all these totals look good to me. Bitcoin still pushing higher, broke that high from the spot ETF where we wicked in there. All right, we're pushing above that level. We're going to see how the weekly closes. ETH, I've been saying, looks amazing. Bought the bottom not only once, but twice right here in the past 6 months. So, yeah, really good to see. All right. As far as news, I think we had like one thing that came out. Court clears Genesis to liquidate 1.3 billion worth of Grayscale GBTC shares, and I really think that's just nothing. All right, who cares? I really don't care about 1.3 billion worth of Bitcoin. It doesn't matter. All right, they were liquidating that entire time. They were selling into these levels right here in the weeks past, and look what's happening right now. All right, so yeah, we might do more of these market update videos day to day just to keep everyone in check. So I appreciate y'all watching. Probably going to end it here. I'll catch y'all tomorrow.